Okay, so this week we are talking about how you suffer if your dreams don't include others. So can we talk on that a minute? Like for you, what's the point of including others in your dreams in the first place? It kind of sounds counterintuitive. What's the point in kind of going, right, these are my goals, how do I include others in it?
I think for me, it's almost like, well, what's the point of having the dream if you don't include others? If you're not adding value to anybody else, then what's the point? What's the point of what are you doing? What's your existence about? For me, I think we're coming through. We've seen a world now that is based on those kind of selfish principles, and there's some leadership. Well, I'm not going to get into anything political, but you can quite clearly see that way of doing things isn't working. It is very selfish. It's very fear-based. So there's a new energy. There's a new ethos, especially around entrepreneurs or people that want to make a difference. You look at the likes of Elon Musk's and the Uber guys, and they're looking to add masses and masses of value to a lot of people. And there's a great saying about the new billionaire is how you can affect a billion people and how you can touch them. That's how you are a true billionaire. And I think if we could all use that paradigm, the world would be a completely different place.
So you mentioned fear and not living in a fear-based way. Can you just add some extra kind of thoughts on that?
Not living in a fear-based
What for you is living in a fear-based?
A fear-based way. I mean, to be fair, we are we'll touch on this at another point, but we're kind of hardwired for fear. It's our primitive mind, our primitive set point. But our minds have evolved over time, so it's we have the choice now, and to be less reactive and less scared and less, our old mindset was there to ensure our survival in primitive times, but now that's not the case. We have this newest part of our mind that allows us to create and create the world that what you see in this today. It's amazing when you stop and think of some of the things that man has created through this mindset. It's not through that way of thinking, it's not through that primitive mindset. So it's difficult, and but again, having that awareness to react and not act from that initial reaction or initial feeling or fear or anxiety or whatever it is, and look for something else, which takes a longer process. Just sitting with that tension and then asking for something else or waiting for something else to come, which is of more value and of a more creative space. It's always pays off.
So then, going back to dreams, involving people in your dreams, involving people in your purpose, in your goals, that kind of living from that space, what does that mean to you personally?
Well, me personally, for me initially, when I first started out on this kind of way of thinking, it meant me and my immediate family. And to be fair, that can stop there. But for me, I wanted to now share a message and present a way of living which I'm on the same path as well, through different kind of mediums, around your mindset, around nutrition, and around physical exercise. Money is a massive one for people.
Huge.
And also mission, which is what we're talking about now. Mission. So my mission now is being about how we can serve people, how we can affect other people. So you have that sort of that ripple effect, that exponential awareness and growth. So it's grand, but I think that's the way you start. You shoot as big as you want.
Just talking a bit more, it's just very interesting to find out a bit more for you. What was the turning point then?
Okay, so
where did it go? When did it go from it being about your family to this much bigger mission?
I think there's two things. There's a couple of things with my turning points at work, just getting money. Or I was very driven, and I wanted to have money for the sake of having money, and it wasn't even I wanted that success to show other people. It was external. It was all external stuff rather than internal.
So it was about validation in some way.
It's external validation. That's all it was. So but when you realise that you get all those things that you want, and yet you're still not happy, then you need to think of something else. So for me, it was about working. I started working with some young kids that were kind of up from sort of underprivileged backgrounds or whatever, and seeing minute changes in them. And you cannot put a price on seeing those faces. You cannot put a price on what, you know, the gratitude they give you, that love. I'm still in contact with some of these guys now, and I did that for 3 or 4 years, and I've seen these guys grow from like 14-year-old, they're mostly boys, they're 13, 14-year-old teenagers, to sort of young men now, you know, and the way they've developed, and from the harshest of backgrounds, to be honest, made my story look like pale in comparison. I'm like, what the hell are you crying about? You know, so yeah, that was a turning point for me, and it's just moving that out to a wider audience. I think we all have issues that actually stop us.
Yeah.
But if you can obviously do the work on yourself as well, but incorporating other people and sharing something you have, your talent, your skill, your love to other people is massively important.
Game changer.
Yeah, it's back and forth. It's reciprocal.
Yeah. So that brings me on to, if I've got my goals, I've got my purpose, in my mind I know what my dreams are, I'm clear, I've got that awareness. So then if I go, well, actually it needs to be about sharing with others, bringing others in, being more open from that heart space, where do I even start?
I think it would start with your values, starts what's really important to you, or also start, if you're not really sure what is important to you, ask yourself what really gets you, what happens, you know, what is it that you can't stand about something that interacts, and you'll get your elicit a value that way as well. You know, you'll know that it will get stamped on.
So you kind of do it backwards, but you still get the same information.
Get the same information, and look at those values and why that's important, and then expand on it, and then ask yourself, what do you need to do, you know, what do you need to do next in order to help other people.
Yeah. And I guess also maybe from doing that, looking further into your purpose and your dreams and your goals, it will probably become obvious that actually, if you think about it in an open way, other people will already be involved. You just didn't kind of notice it.
You didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know. You're not aware of it. You're not aware of it. You just, by being something as someone else, you might have a massive effect. I'm a completely different person for my family and my friends, for that matter. And equally, you know, your circle changes as well. So and again, like, it's a beneficial thing. And this is what I mean by that connectivity, by allowing yourself to be who you really are, and then being just a genuine, I hate using the word authentic, I think it's a bit played out, but it's that being authentic, you know, and allowing other people to just, they will gravitate towards you, and also you'll repel others that are on that same plane, the selfish ones. Yeah.
How do then you incorporate this? It sounds like you've taken, you know, that you've had a journey and you've really understood like how to really live this over a period of time, and over what probably are some harsh lessons of getting there. How do you personally integrate this in your day-to-day life?
I think first of all is breakfast.
We've got breakfast.
Thank you very much. Oh, look at this. Superb.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think first of all, it's an ongoing process as well. You just it's something that you just don't. Okay, I've got it now, and then you stop there. There's no. If anything, if you think that way, you'll soon lose that way of thinking as well. Because remember what we said earlier about the mindset, etc. Is that you'll start to. It's almost like a muscle. So you need to start thinking. You know, when you start thinking this way, it's almost like training it over and over and over again to develop it, to strengthen it. So a set of daily practices, a ritual or something, and being mindful of what it is that you're looking to achieve, but not to the sense that you're obsessed with it, and especially longer term, but what it is you want to achieve, and then connecting with that future self or whatever you want to call it, and really embody that and feel that, not just intellectually but physically as well. So, you know, so there's a lot of science talking about heart and mind's coherence. So the mind then is the transmitter, it sends out the message. The heart is magnetic, so it brings it in. So it has that kind of cycle. So you need the two to work in unison in order to bring things towards you. And you'll just do things. You'll find certain opportunities will arise, and you may miss that opportunity, but another one will come along, and then you just take those steps. But it all starts with an awareness of what it is that you actually want to do, and then you can ask yourself, who would I serve? Who can I serve?
What is more than 12 years experience from a coaching perspective and kind of getting involved with various ways of helping people, but longer than that, if you're talking about the journey of your own discovery and kind of how you know, whether it was a big awareness and an awakening or whatever, over all of these different years, kind of what's the one thing we can take away from the idea of involving others in your dreams?
Okay, not involved with others. Okay, I would say identify who it is and identify why. Why is a massive one. Why is the reason? They're going to connect with that as well.
Yeah.
You know, and start with why the reason. What's the reason for you wanting to help that person or whoever that, you know, whoever it is.
Emergency. Help everyone. Emergency.
Can I say that bit again?
Yeah.
So I would say, I can't remember what I said. I would say, I said why, didn't I? What was the other thing I was saying?
I said what? Find out who it is and why is what you said. But have a stop and then start.
Excuse me.
No, you can do that.
I would say first of all, identify who it is that you'd like to help, and then the reason why you want to help that important person. Why is it important? And again, by doing that, you're eliciting another value of yours.
Yeah.
Let's just start with that.
Yeah. Some brilliant takeaways from the Boss Man over brunch. So we're just about to get into this food. Appreciate you joining us today, Kevin. And
You're welcome.
happy week, everybody.